how should you prepare? See, this is something I didn't know back then, but nowadays I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube about learning and all of that. Give you a tip. How many of you must have watched TED Talks, right? So there's a TED Talk on learning how to learn. Has anyone heard or watched that talk? Okay. So make a note of this. All of you have smartphones, I'm sure. Have a look at this TED Talk. It's a 17-minute talk called Learning How to Learn by Dr. Barbara Oakley. Okay. Very good, this thing. It answers the most basic questions. It answers specific questions on how to learn. Okay. How many of you learn by underlining? Okay. How many of you make notes on the textbook? Okay. How many of you do multiple readings to learn? That is, you read a paragraph once and then you read it again. Some of you do that. How many of you make notes in a notebook? Okay. How many of you read once, close the book, and then tell yourself what you read? Then you again read the next paragraph, close the book, and then tell yourself what you read. This is called recall. How many of you do recall? Okay. All these things have been scientifically tested, and they have determined which is the technique of learning which has the maximum retention value. You're reading to retain, right? At the end of the day. So recall is the most effective way of learning. When you read something and you recall it in your mind. Why is that? The most effective way of learning anything is through a test. We write mock tests for that reason. Among all the systems that I told you, recall is the closest to a test. Right? So you need to keep testing yourself. Initially, you'll remember only 20% of what you read. But if you make this a habit, over a period of time, you'll be able to start retaining 50-60%. Okay, repeated reading is bad for you. Repeated reading is only helpful if it is spaced by at least 2-day gaps. That means you're reading something today, then you read it again on Sunday, then you read it again on Tuesday. Only then repeated reading helps. Immediate repeated reading is not good. Underlining is the worst way of learning. It seems because it gives you what is called an illusion of competence. When you underline something, you feel like, I've done something. Your parents see the books and they're like, yo, that. So everyone feels that, yeah, underline, highlight, and all of that. That's not helpful because it makes you think you're doing something when it's actually not. So try to recall as much as you can.